staggered. And then we did these tours, you know, we toured all over the place with these shows, and we're taking with our shows quite a number of civilians. There was a lady who sang It's a Grand Night for Singing, and with the opening of the show I was with, and we were all told, you know, be very careful when you're touring in Malaya and Burma, not to have any, don't have anything to do with these itinerant peddlers. And they used to come by on the railway trains offering you melon, watermelon, and this silly girl ate the melon, you see, and it was grown in typhus-infested water, so the consequence was she had the most dreadful dysentery. And the Grand Night for Singing number was distorted. She kept rushing on, you know, it's Grand Night for Singing. And she fixed up a commode in the wings, but we were all left there because we were all the chorus around going la 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 la. We were all la-laing, and we were left while she shot off to this commode and going la la and filling in like mad. And then she came back but did it in another key. So the whole thing was absolute disaster. And there was a civilian dancer called Barry Chatt who had the most extraordinary effect on the military. When he arrived in Burma, he was at the HQ, he was standing outside, and outside the HQ were several generals, brigadiers, with rolled-up maps, you know, and field glasses, all standing there outside HQ. And this dancer, Barry, did a pirouette about 6 times, vast, and very fast indeed, and then tapped this brigadier on the shoulder and said, "Tell your mother we're here, dear, put the kettle on." That was the sort of thing one had to cope with. And when we got to Hong Kong, which was where I left, you see, because that was our last date, and I was being demobbed from Hong Kong, and we, whilst in Hong Kong, were asked to take part in an adaptation on radio of The Death of Nelson. And it was rather moving, very beautiful. And Stanley Baxter was playing Hardy, I was playing the French secretary. Peter Nichols couldn't be in it because he had to go to hospital. He was always going to hospital, Peter Nichols. I think he was getting out of it, really. And then we did this show, and this dramatisation of The Death of Nelson Trafalgar, and the Admiral of the fleet, Admiral Sir Bruce Fraser, was the narrator. And he came out after the broadcast and said, "It was very moving, very fine, and I'd like you all to come back on the flagship for drinks." We said, "Oh, yes, very nice, thank you very much." And we rushed, we were all in white shirts and trousers, a khaki drill, and we went in his motor, flying the pennant of the Admiral, to the dock gates, where the sentries all bashed the rifles and presented arms, and they were taken on a launch out and then up the ladder of the Belfast cruiser, which was his flagship. And there were stewards there, you know, and ensigns saying, "Oh, ping gin, right ping gin, ping gin, ping gin, ping gin fuel, ping gin." So thank you very much, ping gin, yes, ping gin. We were all standing there in the wardroom, loving it. And they said, "Are you enjoying life on the colony?" And we said, "We don't live here. We're in the army." Said, "What? What is your rank?" And I said, "Sergeant," and Baxter said, "Sergeant," and sergeant, because we were in an officer's wardroom. Well, the drinks were out of our hands in about 10 seconds flat. And we were over the side and bundled off with no ceremony at all, no piping, nothing like that. And when we got to the dock gates, nobody presented arms. Baxter said he heard a raspberry. And that really, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but it all actually happened.